Poetry Corner. The same usual thing every Tuesday. We do this. We got a great show tonight. A lot of poets here tonight. Packed house, which is a good thing. So we're going to get the party started off right. Hey, good evening. Welcome to Let's Talk. Tuesday night, every night. We do the Poetry Corner at 8 p.m. Great night tonight. We got four beautiful women poets and a handsome male poet here tonight. Interesting show we got planned for tonight. For a couple poets that couldn't come on tonight, we our good kind words are with them, and hopefully they are feeling better, and they'll be able to join us next week. We got one new poet, and everybody knows our format. The new poet usually goes first, but tonight we're gonna be graced with Adrian to join us first with her poem. What's going on, Adrian?
Hey, I'm just hanging.
How is everything down there in the bottom half of Pennsylvania?
Well, I'm no longer in Pennsylvania. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida now.
Oh.
But it's cold. Cold down here.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. You done made the hike down there to the Sunshine State.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cold, right? So,
Yes.
without further ado, young lady, you can grace the beautiful microphone with your words.
All right. You never know when life throws a curve and you fall head over heels over someone you cross an ocean for, but they wouldn't jump a puddle for you. You never know when the world is at your feet and suddenly it's taken from you and you're left standing there wondering what happened, what you're going to do next. Everyone sees you crying, but no one cries with you. You never know when someone tells you they're tired and all you can do is listen and pray for them, that God gives them peace when their transition comes, a semblance of understanding that all will be well with their soul. You never know when the world rights itself. People will finally care about each other, not caring the color of their skin, not caring what they do, what they have, only caring about love, because that's what the world needs today. And that's that peace.
Adrian.
Okay.
Hey.
Yes.
Love that piece.
So let me ask you, how long? What's the background behind that poem? That poem just now.
Well, honestly, when I spoke to Joel, I don't know when we spoke, but he gave me the prompt and I said, that's it. He goes, yeah, that's it. And I did it in about a half an hour. As a matter of fact, I just did it right before the show. So words just come to me sometimes. And,
Was that I'm gonna ask you because you actually led off. Was that like the perfect title or the perfect thing for the show? Like You Never Know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would say so. I mean, because you never know when something good is going to happen, when something bad is going to happen. So you just have to prepare yourself when it does. So
That's right. And unfortunately, that's
true.
the only piece that you can give us tonight because you never know, right? We
Yeah.
appreciate you, Adrian, and appreciate you joining
Absolutely.
the show.
Love you, Adrian.
Thanks for joining us. I know that
Definitely
everybody in the chat may be upset, be like, "Oh, she only gave us one piece," but she has some prior engagement that she has to take care of, and like we say, you never know.
Right. Thank you so much, everybody.
Love you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Adrian.
Adrian. Love you.
All right.
Love you too.
All right, take care. L Diamond, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Great day to be alive. I cannot complain. My energy's back. I've been not feeling well the last couple weeks, but I feel great. I don't know. I just have all this energy tonight.
I'm glad you're
Anyway,
back.
so you told me in the background you're from Danville, Virginia. How long have you been into poetry?
Since the ninth grade. So
Really?
about 20 years now.
Favorite poet?
Maya Angelou.
Why?
Well, I think that her work speaks to humanity, and she made it to the White House. So I applaud her for that.
So you've been reciting. How long you been writing poetry? Like literally, notebooks to stash, piece of paper, thoughts, and just literally just all since the ninth grade.
Since the ninth grade, my English teacher introduced me to it, and I never left it.
Wow. Well, I have a poem here that you sent.
Okay.
We're gonna play it and then we'll discuss it. Okay.
All right. Great.
All right.
Poetry Corner. I am Latoya Whipple, and my poetic name that I refer to myself as is L Diamond. In the interest of the topic for this week, I have selected the piece entitled Leap by Latoya Whipple. God said, if you leap in faith, I guarantee you won't fall. Just like I gave the squirrel the power to climb telegram poles and not fall, the same power I give unto you. Leap in faith and watch the dogs stand in awe at the awesomeness of my glory. Hallelujah. Stay on land, but you were created to survive against all odds in peace. Thanks for listening.
Wow.
Love that.
Wow. Okay. That poem actually very self-explanatory. Speak about how your faith shapes your poetry.
Um, well, when I initially write my poetry, I write it in the exact moment of the intensity of whatever feelings I am having, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. So with that particular piece, there were aspirations that I had at that time that I was not sure as to which way to go, how to begin, and how it would all end. So that's how my faith is shaped around my poetry. It's like my guiding light.
Okay. You got one more for me? For us?
Another poem? Another poem?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I can do one, and in the interest of the topic for this week, I think I wanna inhale. I need to inhale the word of God so that when I go through hell, I can experience peace. I need to inhale the word of God and swallow the scriptures like a daily prescription prescribed by the chief physician, Jesus the Christ himself. I need to inhale the scriptures like a daily dose of vitamins to give me strength to fight off weakness in peace.
Yes.
All right. That was
I
nice.
can't. L Diamond. I can't figure it out. Um, your voice reminds me of somebody's voice. I can't figure it out right
Okay.
now, but I'm gonna figure it out. You got a very, very distinctive voice. Um,
Thank you.
very, very mild tone, and I can't figure it out who it is. But I'm gonna get back to you on that.
I appreciate it.
Definitely.
Thank you. No
So
problem.
now, so now we're gonna talk about my thorn in my side, Nicole. Nicole, Nicole, you're a thorn in my side sometimes.
Well, at least I'm by your side. I'm by your side.
Nicole, explain your experience with the Poetry Corner. I think your experience is very unique. I think your experience is aspirational when it comes to your journey with the Poetry Corner. Can you explain it, please?
Okay, so I don't know what it was, but of course I'm in the group Let's Talk, and of course it's a lot of different shows that come on dealing with education and all different kind of things. So I tune into the Poetry Corner, and I was looking, I was like, okay, and just listening to the people on, it was just like I guess how you get the I was getting my juices flowing back again, because I've been writing poetry for a long time, and I basically put it to a side for a while. Usually I just would write when something might come to me, but it wasn't like an everyday thing or every other week thing. But I was like, okay, and I put in the chat like, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get back into writing my poetry. And I don't know who commented back. They was like, yeah, you should do that. But then I got in contact with King, and from there, I pretty much been like a regular on the show, pretty much.
So let me ask you, Nicole. I have a couple questions I want to ask you. And L Diamond, I didn't forget about the questions I wanted to ask you, so I will definitely double back for this.
Okay.
Nicole, let me ask you, what would you consider your strength with your poems?
My strength with my poems. I think most people can relate, but the thing about my poems that I like so much is that you might start out thinking that it's one thing, but by the end of the poem, it's something totally different. So a lot of times, just, reading some of my stuff, and I know it might sound boisterous and things like that, but I ain't gonna lie, I'll read some of my poems. I'm like, dang, that was good. That was good, But it's all different types. So people's like, well, what do you write about? Like, it could be a little bit of everything. But I think just the way I kind of, formulate everything, and a lot of times it's like a little bit of wordplay, and I hear a lot of different poets and how they put together things, and everybody is totally different. And so like when you come on a show, when you look at the show, you see like from every spectrum, as far as how people relate their poetry. With King, I know it's kind of like that rapping style, because that's what he is used to. So you can kind of hear the hip hop in his and stuff. And with Edwina, I really can't put a finger on a lot of her stuff, but it's just like you listening to it. Like the last week, we was like, hey, can you do that again? Because it's just like, wow,
Thank you.
the bitter bee and all that other kind of stuff. It's just like, okay, and it gives you a different way of thinking. Of course, we just introduced the L Diamond, but I am really liking your inspirational pieces too. But it's just like everybody brings a little something different to the table. So it's like, as we said before, with iron sharpening iron, because it's just like,
Let me ask you,
just grow.
let me ask you, as somebody that has grown with the show, and we appreciate the kind words that you said about the show, as well as the other poets. What do you think we can do, you guys as poets, myself as somebody who's a co-host of the show, we can do to strengthen each other?
Just continue encouragement, support. Even if you can't buy a book, or just give a shout out, like, oh, so and so has a book coming out, check out, word of mouth is better than pretty much anything, especially if it's positive. Just try to keep in contact, just check up. Oh, I haven't seen you in a while. You doing all right? Things like that.
Okay. Well, look, I got something in the archives I'm going to show, and I want you to discuss this poem after we listen to it.
All right. I miss you. I miss you. And there's no other way to say it. And I can't deny I'm feeling some kind of way. I've been going over it in my head day after day. Maybe I was wrong, but I thought you were my ace. Now you all skinning and grinning up in someone else's face. It's always an excuse why you don't have time to spare. And it was never like that before, but you don't seem to care. You are no longer the same and are so different now. I'm trying to figure out what changed and how. I remember you as the feisty one with so much to say. Now you just hold your tongue and look the other way. You shut me out and are so into this new guy. Did you forget who was always there for you, whether it be to laugh or to cry? You had a life before him and things you like to do. We used to go to the movies, bowling, or even writing or reading a book or two. What about us? You act like you forgot all about me. I've always been here, although you pushed me into the shadows. I am hurting, and I want you to know. Listen, I miss you. I miss me.
Yes.
All right, Nicole.
Oh, that twist
Love
at
that
the
piece.
end. Oh, I love that. Yes.
Thank you.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Nicole, I think that poem, believe it or not, was almost a year ago, or a little less than a year ago. What do you have to say? Number one, talked about yourself and missing yourself. How far you've came, I mean, with your poetry in that short of period of time, and how do you feel about that piece now?
Oh, I still like it. Actually, I love it. That it's funny because when I guess just going throughout the day, my thing is music. So I hear music all the time. Somebody could say like a one little phrase, and I'm thinking of a song that's with that phrase. So with that song, I was thinking of I Miss You by Climax. So that just started it off. But it just got me into the thing where I think about past experiences where I was so caught up in this one person. When I wasn't with them anymore, I didn't know what to do with myself because I surrounded myself around them. When I got out of school, I was over there. When I got off work, we were together. But then when you lose that, it's like, well, what do I do with myself? So it's just like, getting back to finding yourself and, look, it's about me. It's not about, that other person, so don't lose yourself in, what you're doing to other people, things like that.
Well, we appreciate you, Nicole. We know those of us always say that Nicole definitely supports no matter what. And we will, you know what, Nicole, could you give us something else before I go to Zwina?
Okay. One quick thing, little shameless plug to get everybody anticipated for this. I will be coming out with my book. If it's not by the end of this month, it will be the beginning of December. I'm trying to get it out before my birthday. My birthday is December 9th. So
Right.
I'm excited. It's been a long time coming. And I've been trying to do a book. Actually, it was like in 2002. But of course, things are a little bit different now because you had to like find a publisher and all this other kind of stuff. So I didn't have money like that, but now things are a little bit different. So I'm excited. But I call it Pieces of Me. So you get
Well,
a little, you get a little
congratulations,
bit of everything.
Yeah,
Nicole.
definitely dope.
That is not a shameless.
Congratulations.
That's not a shameless plug you did. That is your right. Being on the show is to let us and everyone in the chat know what you are doing in regards to your poetry, in regards to your business. So we look forward
Thanks.
to your book coming out, and you know, you know how we do in Let's Talk. We try to support everybody.
Yeah,
So just let us
Yeah.
know, and we'll let the people know.
definitely, definitely.
So
So, and I thought what was the name of the topic again?
You never know.
You never know. Okay. So I already had something written, which I was like, okay, good. I ain't gotta rack my brain. But I call this the question of love. And once I read it, you'll understand. The questions of love. How does one know when they're in love? Sometimes people don't know at all. We find out that we've been in love when our heart is broken. How does one know when they have a broken heart? It's very simple. You ache and you long for the one you lost. It's very similar to when a person falls in love. You only have that person on your mind and nothing else is in focus except them. How long does it take to get over a broken heart or a lost love? Sometimes never. I think we all take a piece of each relationship into the next one. No matter whether good or bad, you remember and carry these feelings to the next partner. So basically, no one ever comes into a relationship with a clean slate because there's so much leftover dust from the chalk that wrote on your heart before. You can always try to wash it off, but there will still always be some trace of what was there before. So we must love the best we can with what we have and hope that we can achieve the high we experienced the very first time. In peace.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Okay. I love
all
that.
right.
Okay.
Thank
Was
you.
good.
That was great.
That
That
was.
was great, Nicole. Now our next poet. I think that Zwina. I'll never forget when King first told me. He's like, "Yo, I think I met somebody from up your way that might come on the show." I talked to him for like 3 hours. I'm like, "Huh?" Cuz we connected and we just was spitting bars and going back and forth. And I think that Zwina, seeing her poetry, like not her poetry change, but I'll just say that Zwina, and I'm not trying to speak around you, like you're not on the show, seeing the tremendous amount of confidence that you have in your poetry has really been a pleasure to watch. I think that all the poets that have been on the show, including myself, who's not a poet, have always said how super dope you were. You are with your
Yeah.
poetry, and you speak from a place of emotion. And I had the opportunity. Me and you did a show together in reference to your book release. It was really really good. I actually read the manuscript copy of your book before it
Yes.
was released, and I had the opportunity to listen to some other poems. And I had this one poem that I had in the archives, and I want us to discuss it, Zwina. But it's a very interesting poem to hear, to see it now, even a couple months after your book release, and now we're gonna discuss this, okay?
Okay.
The Black Cats. What you doing, girl? I want to say nothing. Not sitting in my car being self-destructive, awaiting motivation that's never coming. I know I should be doing something, cleaning something, greeting someone, solving all life's big conundrums, pouring into wells I come from, mending all that's come undone, filtering all that comes downstream. Nothing bad should get past me. I'm the holder of so many seats that sitting seems a luxury. Hey queen, how you doing? I want to say fine, or some epithet to pass the time. I'm feeling like a ball of rage that burns below my rib cage for all the things I've overlooked and every loss I ever took. I want to slap her in her face for making me feel out of place, and I want to squish him like a grape, and instead he gets away with rape. But I've got enough on my plate, and it's unladylike to unpack my hate. It doesn't matter anyway. I got mad stuff to do today. Wait, damn. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm fine. Don't mind me, I just lost my mind. Mommy, are you okay? Yes, of course. It's not like I'm contemplating divorce. A good mother knows it wouldn't be right to consider running away in the dead of the night. At least not for good. That wouldn't be nice. Just an arbitrary length of time to decide if it's his life or mine. Let's read a story. Bake a pie. Get lost inside your childlike mind. Let's play house. Let's pretend we like this cage we're all trapped in. Mommy shouldn't let it slip that you're the reason I put up with this. Your happiness, my sacrifice. He pays the bills, comes home at night. The rest is fine. I'm fine. Good night. He sprayed for bed bugs. They won't bite. I look in the mirror, but not at my reflection. I break it down into little sections, wash my face and brush my teeth, avoid the eyes looking back at me. If I asked her how she really felt, my resolve would all but melt. She asked, when have you checked on you? And there is just too much to do. I assure myself I don't have time to find out if I'm doing fine or feeling fine. Not really fine. I mean, I know that I'm going to be all right. God's on my side. I'll toe the line. She won't ask questions I won't ask. She won't answer questions I won't ask. I won't see through the looking glass. She won't give the thought fighter runner voice, and I'll never have to make a choice. I'll snuggle dulled in my complacency as long as I never have to look at me. Oh, me? Don't worry. I'm doing just fine. If you'll excuse me, I've got to go lose my mind. I'm anxious to see what's left behind. And that's that. Peace.
Love it.
That was definitely dope.
Thank you.
So
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Why did you name it Black Cats?
The Black Cats, I named it that because I've been in the space that I was writing it. I feel kind of I start to internalize how I'm feeling, and then I feel like I'm like somewhat like a black sheep or the black cat. You know how if you feel like in a depressive state, you feel like sharing yourself or sharing it is like sharing this toxicity part of yourself. So it's like I was the black cat explaining to everyone else how I was feeling inside that I didn't want to necessarily share. You know what I mean? Something like that. Yeah.
So Zwina, let me ask you, looking back at that now and just your poem, and then shout out to Julia for the video
Yes,
editing
definitely.
and all that she's done for every last one of us. Getting your poem to her, the process of getting your poem to her doing the video, you and myself doing a show before your book release. From there up until now, like, explain to us how you feel you've evolved as a poet.
I think I'm still coming into the acceptance that this is real because honestly, and I'm not saying this just to big up the show, I went from being a person that occasionally just shared my poetry on Facebook and like nobody cared. And then I met King, and then I'm just saying, like, I never got a lot of feedback before that, but like when I met King, and he brought me on the show, and then I met Quentin, and then through him I met Nicole, and I met Julian, I met Gina Storm, and Mama Oladeji. All of these different personalities, and these just bringing their full art to one another, and like you guys really kind of handheld me through a lot of this process, and I think that I really do appreciate that. I appreciate all of the love that you guys give me on a constant basis, but I feel like individually, I'm still coming to find myself being not that just that black cat versus being someone who, you know, has a voice to kind of share and protect and you know, learn to
Well,
understand a little better.
well, I can speak for everybody when I say that we appreciate the kind words. We
Yes.
appreciate you on the show. You're like I always say that you're more than welcome. Anybody that comes on the show, they're more
Yeah.
than welcome to come on. Basically, whatever they want. I
Yeah.
don't think it's that hard. I think that a lot of times people think that King has people knocking his door down to come on the show. I think a lot of times when King decides to call everybody or text everybody Saturday or Sunday and say, "Yo, this is the topic. Would you like to come on?" I think a lot of times people will wait until Monday night to let him know. But with his scheduling, he has to kind of like have everybody kind of set in stone by Sunday.
Yeah.
But Dwayne, one of the things that I wanted to discuss with you was you're doing poetry live in front of strangers now, so to say, and not on a show. You know, a show like I tell everybody comes on. This is more like a Zoom call, and you don't realize until you might go back into the rebroadcast and be like, "Oh, it's out in the universe." But when you're doing a live show, explain that experience. I know that Nicole showed up and
Yeah.
gave you some support, and you guys finally physically met. Explain that.
Yeah. Oh, that was like you know, I always said I wanted to one day meet all of you guys in person. And when I saw her walk in, I was just like, you know what, tribe all day. I love it. That made me feel so special. The event itself, I think the biggest one of the during the it was a little bad weather, so I think a lot of people got there after, and I was one of the first people to do a performance. So, like Nicole missed my performance because of it, and a lot of my family, you know, like my family members that came, they missed it too. But my daughter was there, and she's 10, and she was just looking at me like, and it's that was the out of this world experience, just being able to like share this part of myself that I'm still coming to terms with my baby. And she was like fangirling, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then meeting Nicole, and it was like a dream come true, because it's always
And
something that I wanted to do. Yeah.
just for the sake of, because I probably didn't say it, and I apologize to the people in the chat, was Black Cat is one of her poems out of her book Still Zwina. Zwina, explain to people what your name means in English, because it's an Arabic name. Explain to everybody what it means.
The name Zwina means beautiful. And when it's called Zwina Still, a collection of poems and prose on the subject of becoming. That's the subtitle. And that's basically what I felt it was in a nutshell, because I went back to see my growth as a person through my own life experiences. And then it's like looking back at who I was at these different times, going through these different things that were kind of really difficult. It was like, all right, let's share myself in steps with people. And that's kind of what I was going for, becoming.
Well, I do have one question for you, and it's basically the same question I asked Nicole.
Mhm.
What do you think your weakness is as a poet?
I think my weakness as a poet is, what do you call that? I don't always confidence. I don't have a lot of confidence. To me, these are expressions. They're like parts of myself that I can go back and, like I said, go back and revisit. And to share it, you hope that it will connect with someone else. And it's just not like, sometimes I still feel like it's sharing a very private part of myself. And
That's
so I
great.
still lose confidence in and just being
You
present
have,
and pushing it and promoting it and stuff like that.
I know you have something for us tonight, right?
I do.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This one is different than the Black Cats. I'm actually it's in honor of my cousin Bobby. Um, we lost him yesterday to an aneurysm, and he's a twin and my cousin. And there's something King said. He said to recycle the energy. So this poem came about me trying to think about the topic and him in a more positive light, you know? All right, here we go. Begin. Shiny and new, established, imbued with pedaled enthusiasm, outwardly reaching, like the full weight of all that the new light will bring, be the pattern nostalgia of new saplings green. Grow in the glory of your summers and springs, go bold in the knowing of what cold winters bring. Grow fertile beneath her cold coverings, then begin again. This time with hope, as if it floats well enough to promote you from anxious to motivated, vapid to permeated, a bone-soaked blessing, ingratiate yourself into feeling. Be not this body, be loosed like the leaves, leave yourself open to the ways of the breeze, to the birds in your branches, the dances of bees, the dazzle of Sundays and all that she greets. Be quiet in night times, the hours unseen. Be rest in the darkness. Be rest. The darkness is pause for release. It's a call to let go of what your eyes can see and rest in the knowing of what you believe. The night has an end. A new day begins and then begin again. This time with ardor, made stronger and smarter by the fires that forge you. These are the flames that make phoenix of men. A dream made flesh from these small sufferings like the pendulum swings. Things will rise and then fall. Though you may risk it all, begin again. The next time is passionate as the last. The school of this life is what's learned from the past. These small acts of trying are the stories you'll tell. When all is well, again begin. Dust yourself off and pretend the ground is made of springs. Spring forth and then begin again. For when your story ends, it ends. Until then, begin again. For there is as many second chances as it takes for you to win. Beneath every scar, men's regenerative new skin. Begin again, begin again, begin again, and rest when you've had enough. It doesn't matter how many times you fall; it's how many times you get up. And that's peace. Thank you.
On behalf of the show,
Okay, Drina.
Thank you.
we wish you our condolences on the loss of your cousin.
Yeah, my condolences to you again.
Thank you.
Your loss.
Thank you.
Now we'll do the straw of all the straw that stirs the drink of everything that we do on the show, everything that we do on Poetry Corner. King, Nicole, what was that, a drum roll?
That was a drum roll.
That was a drum roll.
Nicole got a sound effect going on tonight, you guys.
I know, I see that.
King.
Yeah.
Oh, let's discuss this Poetry Corner. Speak about the genesis of deciding to do a show.
Well, you know, excuse me. After we had that interview, you know, they reached out to me. I started just thinking, you know, we in this pandemic right now. A lot of things is moving and grooving, and everybody's stuck. You know what I'm saying, in the house working from home or just trying to maintain. So I was just thinking about what could we do as some type of video, have people come on and spit poetry and unite as one, you know what I mean? Build a community or something. So that's why I came with suggesting to you, you know what I mean? Like, and then when you was like, yo, let's go with it. Let's try it out. So that's why I say, yeah, I'm game. And to see it get to,
I was about to say that. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying to see it get to where it's at today, it's like incredible. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thankful to all the poets that show up and spit they fly pieces and everything like that. I mean, everybody be getting busy like one big happy family. You know what I mean? So it's really extraordinary.
As somebody co-host with you, what do you think that we can do as co-hosts to do a better job with getting the poets on the show, getting them more comfortable? What do you think that Do you think that we're doing a good enough job getting everybody comfortable? And I asked this question publicly because this is some of the things that we talk about privately is making one of the differences with our show, and not that it's no better or different than anybody else, but it's a unique thing, is that our show is live and you're dealing with an aspect of production with visual. Sometimes you have like a lot of call-in shows and it's easier to just be like listening. You got your phone or your headphones in, and dealing with production, a lot of things are it's like buying food. Majority of people buy food with their eyes. So when we're trying to do a show, a lot of people may pay attention basically with their eyes. So what do you think that we can do to improve the show from that aspect, as well as making the poets feel more comfortable?
I think we just still have to express out to everyone that this is a family vibe. They don't have to be nervous, or feel any pressure or get stressed out about everything. And just come on aboard. You know what I mean? Be a part of multiple shows that we have, and you get that comfortability. You know what I'm saying? So when you're on connecting with other poets, you feel that vibe is alive. You know what I mean? So I think that's where everything gonna go.
Remember, everyone, definitely in the chat, the best way to grow the channel is to like, share, subscribe. One of the biggest things that I just want to say why I have King here is a lot of times we may not realize how things can grow because we may not share it. And one of my suggestions has always been each poet, when you know you're going to come on a show, if after you confirm it with King that you're going to come on, you promote the show 2-3 days in advance of us doing the show on your social media. Say if you have if you have 3: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You do that for 3 days. That's 9 times you've promoted the show on your 3 times a piece that you promoted, but it's basically 9 times that you promoted the show on those 3 social media outlets alone, and that's for each poet. So if we have 6 poets on there and you do that, that's 54 times, including myself as King. So a lot of times we may not realize how minimum that may appear to be with promoting the platform, but it's significant and it means a lot. So King, since we've been doing the show, we've had a lot of poets on the show. I'm gonna put you under the gun on a couple questions here now, right? How many books have you written since we've done the show?
I gotta think now. I'm like kind of brain locked a little bit.
I know I got these 2 right here, and it's got these are the 2 of the latest books, right?
Oh, that's part of the Fantastic Five. That's this year's business. All right. So we got, since we started the show, the Poetry Corner.
We miss you too, Jazzy.
What's up, Jazz? What's up, cuz? Love you. So since we started the show, I did the Poetry Corner book. Then I did the Copacetic Nostalgia with Rita and I'm like brain locked.
Whitney,
right? Rita and Whitney, and then so after those 2, so 7.
Wow.
Because I did 5 this year so far.
Wow.
And 2 was last winter.
Wow. Well, let me ask you, if I could just go into a crystal ball, going into the future, or what do you got plans for the show? What do you got plans as a poet going forward in the next 12 months?
No, not 12 months. The next 2 months, I got a surprise coming up. I'm just working on putting this next book out next month, and then it's going to be a kaboom factor. I'm pretty sure a lot of the poets are going to appreciate it. They're going to love it. We'll talk about that next week or whatnot, but it's going to be real nice, because it's all about each one teach one.
Let me ask you, on the broadcast, we can have up to 8 people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put you under the gun now. I'm gonna put you under the gun. Matter of fact, we can have 10 people, excluding me and yourself, co-hosting. If you could have 10 poets on the Poetry Corner.
You better say me.
That was Nicole with
Did I
another
hear
sound
echo or
effect,
something like
guys.
that?
I don't, you know, they don't have to be poets that have already came on the Poetry Corner, King.
Yeah.
Just 10 of the top poets that you would want. And they could be somebody that has been on the Poetry Corner. That'd be a very high praise if you put them in your 10. If you could have 10 people that you could just sit back for an hour and a half and just watch them spit, what would those 10 poets be? Who would they be?
Yo, you staying up trouble, man. I can't. It's hard, man. It's hard to like really juggle it out. Some of them are here right now, on it. That's 2 right there. Dwena, Nicole. See, J-Rod, Van, Gina, Mojave, Jazzy.
How many is that?
I don't even know. I'm just throwing it out there when I
just
like
naming Nicole.
Yeah, I'm just naming them out.
Jules.
Cousin Bubba. You said?
Jules.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Julia. Definitely. She definitely got some high power poetry. You know what I mean?
It's a lot.
La Perla Negra, Adrian.
You can't name 10?
I can't name 10. I can go on and when I, you know what I mean? I would have them all go in and out. You know what I mean? Just to spit them pieces because everybody is dope. You know what I mean? They carry certain vibes with them, and it would have to be an in and out. You know what I'm saying? Like an in and out. Yo, you come in, you go out.
I asked you that because that is something that we are going to do soon. We're going to have a poetry show where everybody's basically invited to the show, and you got to come in at a special time to shoot your poetry and come in, shoot your poetry and come out.
Nice.
We ain't kicking you out, but you got to go after you shoot your poetry.
Okay.
So that's something that we're gonna work on soon.
All right. That's
it'll probably try to do it on the weekend. I know a lot of times people are busy during the week with time constraints. But Ken, you said this. I know you spit this piece real quick, so we're gonna play it real quick.
Barry, host of the Poetry Corner show. This is my title. A piece called Underneath the Air. What my eyes don't see, although my thoughts might be, inside of dreams that come to me while I am asleep, feeling free. What the soul don't know about the vibe coming close, it's an official download from sound notes moving slow, as I embrace the taste of something fresh and so organic. There's the world inside a planet that need a certain bandage. Hands of a healer or dealer, strong enough to touch. With time never I rush, admiring what's looking plush. As I am seated receiving, concentrating beyond myself, hoping that my mental health resonate on someone else. Find a thin line of thick shit that cover your mystic. Place me all over your lyrics, which is nobody's business. Good enough to be a trial and error, becoming better. The endeavor of being lesser doesn't come across your dresser. Become a need to help you breathe off the telepathic read. Allow your sight to really see, or rather capturing what's seen. King.
Hey, yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Explain that because I know when you when I hit you, that wasn't done yet. And you was like, yo, I got you, cuz I got you. I'm gonna do it tonight. You know. Explain the background to that piece and
that piece is basically
having
about,
to write it while you was at work, basically.
Yeah. I've been under the gun with losing a lot of family this last week, so I had to recalibrate and rechannel my energy to different places. You know, it seemed like everywhere I go, there's broken wires, you know, of connectivity with people. So that's why they always say people, places, and things. So when I write, I always write in third party sometimes. You know what I mean? So third person, third party. So everything is wrapped up into one bubble. You know what I mean? So it's basically about broken wires of connection, basically. You know.
All right.
So
Well, cuz just hold up for 1 second. L Diamond, could you unmute your mic for a minute, please?
Sure.
I didn't want you to be bored up there. I know we left you long ago, and
I'm not bored. I'm enjoying the show.
we just want you to be patient. I want to ask you a question,
Yes.
and I didn't get a chance to ask. Everybody knows this question. Nicole should be tired of me asking everybody the same question, but I like to hear the answer. There is no wrong answer,
Okay.
but I like to hear your answer.
All right.
Does life imitate art, or art imitate life?
I think both. I think life can imitate art in the instance as the artist is creating an emotion of the way they view life, but also art can imitate life in that art can teach us different emotions that we didn't think that we could feel or different objectives based on the artwork that we view. So I think it's interchangeable.
Let me ask you, L Diamond, as well as everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah, Jazzy, I know you remember that question, right? Let me ask you guys in reference to this question. We're all people of a certain age, and we've seen society change right before our eyes. Far as political correctness, and I personally believe this might not be y'all belief. I personally believe that we go a little too far now. We've gone too far with the political correctness. Let me ask you guys a question. I'm asking all four of you guys. Do you think? No, let me phrase it different than I was going to say it. Explain artistic freedom and why it's important. L Diamond, you can go first.
Okay. Um Artistic freedom and why it is important. Um I think it's good to be able to express yourself in an artistic way because some people that is their only form of outlet. So if you don't have an outlet to release different emotions, then that's how things can become very explosive um, in our interactions with people, places, and things. So I think it's good to be free in that aspect because life has a lot of restraints in so many different areas.
I agree.
I agree fully. Yes, you're right, Jazzy. Can save lives.
You're on mute.
Nicole?
Oh, okay. Um, Repeat the question, please, Alex.
The artistic freedom, why it's important.
Okay. I think it's important because it doesn't really, I guess, limit what someone wants to say. I mean, of course, I think you should be mindful, that is not encouraging someone to hurt someone else or things like that. But I think you should be able to express yourself in whatever way you choose. Of course, people don't have to listen to it. But I think you should have that freedom, as far as to get off your chest what you're feeling. There's going to be plenty of people that's not going to agree. And as I said, everyone has an opinion. So,
That's
Zwina,
true.
I want
I
to.
agree.
Zwina,
I
I'm
agree too.
asking you the same question. I know you said you had agreed with El Diamond, but I want
Yeah.
to further the question to with you, Zwina, and say, as an artist who always kept her poems basically to herself and your maturation has gotten you to this point. Um, do you believe that you're an influencer?
Do I believe that I am an influencer? No, I don't want to be an influencer. I would like to be an influence, meaning that if something that I say purely touches you, that's like that was the intention, you know. Um, and this, and when I say that, artistic freedom should be respected, every person should be able to express themselves in the way that they see fit, and that is art in and of itself. It is just honest and raw expression, in whatever form that it's coming in. I think the thing of today is like it's like that universal paradox. It's like to you're free to choose, but you're not free from the consequences of your choices. So in that respects, it's like, you know, you kind of have to, a lot of times this thing that I struggle with is like saving my audience from the depression part of my poems. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to figure out a way to bring it from something low to someplace high. Feeling responsible for doing that is a challenge for me, because it's like I've said before, everything is not for everybody. It's just that now everybody thinks they have an opinion of everything. And that's, to be an influencer, you take on that responsibility of giving up your freedom to have that kind of influence over another person in a certain way.
Okay. Zarina, I asked you that question because if you open up your book, it's registered in the Library of Congress.
Yes, it is.
That book is in the Library of Congress to the end of time.
Yes, yes, yes. I
So
love it.
you may not realize it, that you are an influencer.
Mhm.
You are someone who a person may get your art and be able to identify with a lot of the words that you've said and be able to inspire people to change and to affect change. And I ask these questions sometimes as sometimes we don't realize the effect that we have on people. Definitely you guys as poets, because poetry I believe is timeless. And you know, I know some of the young ladies that come on the show. Everybody always says Maya Angelou or Sonia Sanchez
Nikki
or Nikki, Miss Nikki Giovanni.
Giovanni.
So I always know their poems because everybody always says them. So I go back and I look at their poems. So it's amazing how you guys are able to convey your message from your thought to the pen, to the pad or keyboard, and then be able to express it. So let me ask you guys: does anybody have a poem, another poem that they would like to recite before we close out the show?
I do.
Of course you do, Nicole.
Look, I'm not trying to be a hog. If someone else wants to go, they can go.
Yeah, always fighting.
But I'm just coming off a high from my sorority's 99 Founders Day, so that's real big for me. And I just wanted to do this one quick one, and it's called The Pledge. April 14th, 1997 was a glorious day to behold. I was adorned with 10 pearls, 2 rubies, dipped in royal blue and covered in gold. That was the day I glimpsed you, where I crossed into the burning sands of Sigma Gamma Rho. I had no one to lean on because I took the journey solo. I stood alone by myself to run the race. I held it down as the one and only, the ace. When I told my mom initially what I wanted to be, she could not really relate because she did not know much about Black sororities. Her response was to the point, very quick. She said, "What do they do? You know I don't like those cliques." I told her it wasn't like that. It was created for a purpose. I explained how it was a sisterhood with ladies who believed in scholarship as well as community service. Yeah, we do twirl canes, do our call, step and stroll, but it's about doing the work, the service as a whole. I'm so grateful to the 7 ladies who paved the way and set the standard high. Greater service, greater progress is the motto I live by. We were the best design, although last in creation. My line name was the untold story. My name is Revelation.
Hey, okay, represent.
So thank you. So
Yeah.
24 years in the sorority. So, I know I just look like 25. I know you're trying to figure out how I did that, but
Very true though.
That was great. That was great, Nicole. Does anyone else
you.
have anything they want to leave us with before the night is out?
El Diamond?
Yeah.
I'd like to do a short piece in the interest of time, and it's called Gun Range. Life is like a gun range. You have to keep shooting, keep aiming at the target until you empty all your bullets. Life is like a gun range. You have to empty all your bullets until you hit the right spot. In peace.
Okay.
Hey, hello.
Sweet.
I love that comparison. Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
Zwina, I know you got one more in you.
Might as well go around the corner. Go on around.
Spin the block. Spin the block. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I love you. I need you. Thank you. And all the emotions that a love like ours go through. I'd like the strength and the wherewithal to shield you from love's rise and falls. I wish that I could heal us all, recover what's left, and bury our weapons. I wish I was an alchemist, turning my intentions into something matter. I wish I was a divine seamstress, mending this reality's tatters. I wish we weren't all covered in scars, cut up in the triage of our last cut. I wish that love wasn't all or none. I wish our best was good enough. I wish we didn't hurt one another with hurt. Pain echoing off old deep wounds like a hollow tip down hallowed walls, all casualties and certain doom. I wish I didn't run and hide when grandmother's call to action came. I wish I'd grabbed 2 hands and began the chant, if my people who are called by my name. That was my grandmother's favorite scripture. The words were blessed, a sacred psalm. It was her secret healing balm to soothe the storm and held the that soothed the storms and held the calm, that kept the lights on and kept us warm. Still, I wish I wasn't so cynical. From too many prayers to heal my grief, progression, another funeral, another loss, challenging my beliefs. Some days I wish I had the nerve to be the change it takes to save, to do more here than just preserve, to be the good, to be the brave. I wish that I could wipe the tears from each of my loved ones' eyes. I wish for far more warm hellos and far less of these sad goodbyes, but I'm sorry. I love you. I need you. Thank you. All life, the debt I owe you. All that this life, the debt I owe you. We never know in the next moment if we'll ever get another chance to. And that's that piece. Thank
you. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, Chef, you got something for us before the night or no?
Yeah, I have one piece. This piece is titled Heart of Gold, written at work under low morale. So I'm going to take it off like this. Is the treasure chest filled with lots of jewelry and gems? Or is it the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that is within? Clearing the path and break all the barricades to excel. Falling down, getting back up without the use of rails. Motivated by the peace that is held in high regards. When I call myself the guard, protect light against the dark. When they ask for my time, I don't mind, but I'm selective. Placing things in perspective, I am big on how my rest is. Pointing of checking the world for offset energy. Don't care who don't be feeling me, fix your insecurities. Become a soldier in God's army of fighters living higher. or doing his groundwork, carrying flyers on 4 tires. What I admire is required through spiritual wires. Soon the liars will expire and burn on God's fire. No need to check the temperatures. I gain wings from all things, covering my boundaries, remaining one of the kings. King.
Okay. King.
With
Nice.
that,
Hey, I dig
with
that.
that, we're gonna close the show.
Yes.
Another great
Right.
show, another great Tuesday night, another
Appreciate
great
everybody.
8 p.m. It's sometimes our shows are an hour, sometimes they may go over an hour, sometimes they may be less than an hour. But I appreciate the poets who were able to come on tonight. L
Sure
Diamond,
indeed.
stay on until
Okay.
we close out, and then we have a discussion behind the scenes.
All right. Great.
Everybody in the chat, we
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
you guys for joining us. Remember, the best way to support the channel is to like, share, subscribe. This is something that we try to do every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. The Poetry Corner. And for any poets out there who'd like to be on the show, inbox King Atterbury on all the social media that you possibly could think of to get on the show. It's always a welcome to have the poets on the show, new ideas, new thoughts. And with that, everybody have a blessed night. Take care.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Please continue to join us here for conversations on hot topics, interviews with special guests, and our featured programs such as the Poetry Corner, where you can hear dope poets from around the country creating that poet cafe vibe, and Crown Rules, our virtual book club on love, intimacy, and healthy relationships. Let's talk. We are everywhere you want to be. Follow us on YouTube at Let's Talk, Facebook at Let's Talk, and on Instagram at Let's Talk 1931. Have a suggestion? Give us a call at 570-795-4283. Or for business inquiries, please email us at ltalk5600@gmail. Let's talk. I order you, you order me, and we go together. Please don't